Michelle. Michelle, come here. Come here. What's up, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. We are here today to talk Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode 4, Wedding Bliss or Miss. If you're brand new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed the content. If you are a returning viewer, because I know y'all are there because 60% of the views are coming from people that are returning viewers. If you have not yet subscribed, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Hit it. Stop typing in Tammy Talks Married at First Sight because we are less than 300 subscribers away from 30,000 friends and family here in the Tamily. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, like the video. Let's try to get to 1,000 likes. Like the video. You're watching it. You're here. You're gonna like it because you came back. So like the video and then leave all your comments down below. Y'all know I get active in the comments, especially for Married at First Sight, so we can talk about everything that happened this episode because I have some words, okay? I have thoughts, I have opinions, I have theories. What's new? All right, so we're gonna jump right in. So for the first hour and a half of this long episode, I have the couples grouped up, how their morning started after their reception, them talking to their family and friends, and then once we get to the honeymoon, then I break it up in how things happened chronologically on the show. All right. So we're going to get the people back up on the screen because I don't remember them and I know that y'all don't remember them. All right. So here we go. Alan and Madison. So they're waking up the next morning and Alan goes to get the door and his beef and broccolis. Okay, because they're gonna have breakfast in bed. So he's excited to see how they get along more in their day to day, learning more about Madison. He really likes her, he's all in on her. I don't think she feels the same yet. Okay. So he says that he has lived with a partner before. He lived with his ex for roughly a year and a half out of that 4-year relationship. Madison, on the flip, has never lived with a boy, as she calls it before. She's never lived with a partner from a past relationship. So he's saying that, he doesn't go on camera ever for his meetings because he's not decent. So he said that he don't get dressed unless he has to. So she said, so what you have on? He walk around in his drawers and a beater all day, I guess. I mean, my God. That's your house. That's your house. I am hybrid, so I'm working from home a couple of days out the week. I get dressed because you never know when someone's going to say, hey, can you turn on your camera? Can everyone turn on their cameras? Now you got to run and put some bottoms on. I like Alan though. Alan seems cool. Um, you can tell that he's really there because he really wants to find his person. He really does. So Madison goes to meet his family and friends, and she said that she's had a hard time finding somebody who has been willing and ready to commit. So that's why she ultimately signed up for the show. So Alan's mom is crying, okay, like tears, shit all in her mouth because they're eating, and she got her mouth all wide open, and she's crying because she needs to know. I said, Mama Ellen, oh my God, clutching my pearls, like no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Alan is not going off to slaughter. Alan is not going off to war. Okay? Your baby will be back. But his mom, all but a weep, is saying that she wants Madison to love him and protect him. And I said, oh, girl. Oh, girl. So Alan meets her family, and he said that he liked the blending of the families at the reception. Everything seemed to go really, really good with that. He does want kids within 2 years at the soonest. And then Madison's father said, "Let's cut the shit. Let's cut the mustard, okay? Cut the bologna. You need to go get tested. I want to make sure you ain't got none of the the nasties." And Alan said, "Oh, okay." Alan said, "Look, that's no problem. I haven't been active for a while. It's been a while since I've been intimate. He said, but because I wanted to show how, ready I was, how mature I was in this process. 3 weeks ago, I went and got tested. And her father was like, that's fine. She got to see the test. I feel like you need to give her daddy your test results too, because her daddy is the one that's on some. But I appreciate that because we don't hear this conversation often on the show. Now, I'm sure they're having the conversation, but we don't ever really, we're not privy to it. So her sister, I think that was her sister, whoever this young lady was that looked like a Simpsons character, because why are you so yellow? Oh, she made me so mad. What in the bad spray tan is going on here? That looked terrible. Oh my God. But she asks, or she tells Alan, look, my sister, typically her type is a pretty boy, and you're the opposite of that. I would have said, bitch. That was rude. That was rude. You don't tell somebody. I typically go, or my friend, my sister, whoever that heifer was. I typically go, or Madison typically goes for a pretty boy, and you're the opposite of that. You called him ugly, and that wasn't even necessary. Because if he'd have asked you why you orange back, if he'd have asked you why you yellow back, then would it have been a misunderstanding? Y'all get to beside yourselves on TV. That was so rude. Alan did not deserve that. So the audacity. Oh my God. Like let's move on. Cause that really made me mad at her. That honestly and truly did. So Madison and Alan meet up afterwards, and she wants to level set because his family and friends have said that he's a dreamer, and he's looking for this fairy tale ending. We know that he himself has already said that he romanticizes life, right? So he asks her, "Is there an attraction?" And he's asking because your homegirl said that he ugly, and you don't go for ugly niggas. That's what she said. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. So she was like, well, you're not my typical type. No. She said, but it's not in a bad way. I like Madison. I do. I feel like Madison is not honestly and truly attracted to him physically, but she is trying to get to know him. She's not rude to him. She's doing her best. So for that, Madison, you get a kudos from me for now. We then pan over to Carla and Juan. I don't like Carla, y'all. I keep telling y'all I don't like Carla. Something about Carla just don't jive with me. I can't explain what it is, but something about her is very okay. I don't know what it is, but I don't like Carla. So they wake up so that they can get breakfast. And Juan is like, hey, would you like me to make you a cup of coffee? And she's like, yes, a little bit of cream. She wants to be served. So he's joking and he's like, how did I do? I've never been a waiter before, whatever, whatever. And she's like, you did great. I'll tip you later. I said, oh, yeah? Y'all doing the nasty already? Okay, cool. Y'all wrong. So she then holds up her coffee and was like, I need you to stir it. Carla wants to be a kept woman. She does. Juan is not that dude. Juan is not that dude. He has all but told you 2 to 3 to 5 times he's not the one, the two, the three, the four, or the cinco. Okay? That's not the type of time he's on. She gonna get her feelings hurt. So she meets up with his people. And she asks what makes him happy. Okay. And they were saying he's just a very happy guy. He's just a happy person, whatever the case. So then she's like, you know what? I was talking to God, right? And I talked to God and I was telling God that I want a man that's going to play the instrument. And then his father was like, how you make your money? I said, oh my God. Her father said, stop all the dilly-dallying around. We don't care about this bull you talking about. Do you have shmoney? I hollered, y'all. The way that I rewinded that, because I'm like, I know her. I know his father did not just cut her off like that. It got so quiet and tense at the table. They put the spooky music on. I said, oh my God. So Carla said that she's a hairstylist, a Pilates instructor, and a sound healer. I said, okay. So he was like, so how you flying? Like, he all but asked her, what's in that savings account? So she said that she's flying high, but then she once again said that I'm starting a business and he's starting a business, so we're gonna help each other out. Like I told y'all 2 weeks ago, go back and watch that recap if you haven't already. That Carla is using she heard the fact that Juan is good with money and he's business savvy and he's motivated and he's disciplined, and she's going to basically give him her business to run while she sits back and reaps the benefits of it while doing none of the work. Mark my word. So then she said that when she has kids, she wants to be a stay-at-home mom. Juan has made that clear that he don't want that. Juan don't want that. Juan wants you to contribute. Juan said it's 50-50 around here. So Juan's dad is like, well, I believe in 50-50. And Carla doesn't see it that way. So she's trying to muddy it up so it sounds a little better. But she's basically like, well, it kind of depends on the situation. We have to find a balance on what we want. She said, because if she wants to be a gypsy and live in a jungle and he wants to live in a mansion, they have to come to a mutual understanding where they're on even playing field. I'm gonna tell you this: Carla wants to be a kept woman. We're gonna see it. We've seen glimpses of it in the previews, and that's not the type of time Juan is on. It's just not. Juan meets her people, and he said that right now he needs her to work. Yeah. Everybody's gonna work. He said, I don't need her to take care of me, but we both will be contributing in this household. This is a fundamental difference between the two of them. If Carla feels that she don't want to pay no bills and she does not want to do this, that, and the other in regards to the household and the finances of the household, then y'all need to cut ways right now. Because Carla gives me well, we see it. She's gonna quit her job. She gives me the type to quit her job and say that she doesn't want to work anymore because of X, Y, and Z. And baby Warren, you got it. Okay. Um, they then ask Juan, her family, if he would be comfortable with Carla staying home and taking care of the kids. And he basically said no. We not doing that. He said eventually if we ever get to that point, but I don't know. Girl, if you want to be a kept woman, this was just not the show. Carla needs to be on Millionaire Matchmaker. That still come on, How to Catch a Millionaire. She needs to be on one of those shows. But this show here, you'll get you a brokey and you'll get a cheapie. And you got a cheapie. That's what you got. So next up, we have Camille and Thomas. Let's get them on the screen. Okay. So we have Camille and Thomas. So she's happy. They're waking up the next morning. She's happy he don't snore. Okay. He said that, leading up to this, he has been thinking of like all the worst case scenarios and thinking about how everything could possibly go wrong. And then he sees her, meets her, and he felt that the wedding day and the reception was perfect. He feels so comfortable with her. Feels like I've known you for a while. I said, something about Thomas ain't right. Though people that are that type A, the way that he is type A, they be a little unhinged, okay? So he asked her how does she feel about dating an older guy. Remember, this is the couple that has the 10-year age difference. I personally think that's irresponsible of Dr. Pepper with her immature ass name, Pastor Cal and Dr. Pia, for y'all to do this. I just don't think this was the best idea, personally. But she says she likes guys that are older because in her mind, I support Camille, but in her mind, she thinks that they're more mature and they know more of what they want out of life. Okay. So Thomas in the confessional said that the age gap is a bit of a concern for him because he wants a family soon. So, if she's not ready to have kids yet and he's getting up there in age, that could be a concern for the both, for him at least. Could be a concern for her if she's not ready to have kids as soon as he would want to have them. So Thomas meets her people. and he thinks that they can relate on a lot of different things. So he really like, we can tell he really does like Camille. So he said he hasn't seen any caution or any red flags. So he's cool. Cool, cool, cool. Her sister said that, when Camille gets upset, she does go on the defense. So don't like try to battle with her. Basically, kind of give her some space, give her some time, let her, process everything and then work it out. Thomas said, I'm not good with conflict. He says, so what he typically does is he lets that person keep talking and talking and talking and talking. And then eventually that turns into resentment. And I said, Thomas, why do y'all tell people stuff like, why would you tell her parents this? Thomas seems nervous. Thomas seems very nervous. Like, he's very stiff. He seems nervous. He seems like a good guy, just a nervous guy. So he said that he's been working on himself the past 4 years, and he feels that even though that there is a fear of rejection with being vulnerable with somebody, he now feels more comfortable with allowing himself to open up a little bit more. I said, we gonna see, Thomas, because something tells me that that's not gonna happen. I don't see that happening. Camille meets with his people, and she feels that he meets what she wants at the core as far as morals and values. She said now they are a little different, but she's hoping that she can bring him out of his shell. So Camille is probably an extrovert. She seems more outgoing. She seems very friendly, very and Thomas is more of an introvert who probably doesn't like people deep down. So they are talking, and his twin brother said, Tom likes jokes. He likes to joke, but he don't like harsh criticism. When he feels that there is harsh criticism coming his way, he kind of retreats within himself and he needs space. And she was like, how often does that happen? His brother was like, not often, but I just need you to protect his heart. I said, oh, this is what I don't get. We hear so many of these people's families saying, protect my person's heart. What are your intentions? What is this? And it's like, what do you think the intentions are? You know what I mean? And I get it, yes, because there are people that come on the show with the sole purpose of trying to get on TV, Ikechi, and all of that type of stuff. But I hate these conversations because to me, it's just a formality. We don't need it. We just don't need it. So they talk about how meticulous he is when he eats. She was like, that's fine because she eat like that too. I just kind of feel like, why does that even need to be brought up? If he want to sit there and eat all his meat first and then eat his vegetables last, why would that bother anybody? Like, let's be very, very clear. Why would that bother anybody? If I'm out on a date with somebody and this nigga want to sit here and eat all his green beans and then eat all his potatoes and then he eats his chicken, that's on you. That is on you if that's how your palate works. I don't know why they're making such a big deal about this. Now, is he gonna jap out? if something touches something else, because then that's what we need to get to the root of. But if he just want to eat separately like that, let him. Somebody tell me, what is the issue with this? Tell me, because I'm not understanding it. So Camille said that she's looking for a lifelong partner. As cliche as that sounds, that is honestly and truly what she is looking for. Okay. So then we get to Michelle. Michelle, I'm gonna have to give y'all the black and white already because you're not gonna work my nerves, sis. I'm gonna tell you this now. I understand David lives at home. I get it. I get it. David lives at home. You don't want to be with a man that lives at home, but you're here now. So you got one of two options, sis. Either you can deal with it and try to get through it, or you can leave his ass alone and quit and don't waste his time. But I don't want to hear about this shit every time you are on scene. He done told you. He don't have to live at home. He wants to. Either you believe him or you don't. And yes, before somebody says he shouldn't have been on the show, I agree. I agree. But you're here now. And when you decide to put your love life and your fate of a relationship in the hands of three strangers, this is what you got, sis. You chose this path. I'm going to enjoy getting you together every chance I get because you have the chance, the opportunity to leave, and you won't. You know why? Because Michelle's ass wants to be on TV. So Michelle woke up the next morning saying she didn't sleep well. David has been up because he went to go work out. He went to the gym. So we find out David works second shift, Michelle works first shift. This is just another thing for her to bitch about. So now she's wondering, when will we see each other? Growing up, my mom worked first shift. My dad worked second shift. They saw each other. They saw each other. You make it work. You make it work. Michelle thinks that this is going to come easy, and it's not, sis. It's not. So he said, look, I've requested to get back on first shift, but I wake up early anyway, so I'll see you, before you go to work. Now, if you want to stay up late to when he gets off for his second shift, that's on you. But he said there'll be a lot of texting and, that type of stuff. So Michelle don't like that man. Like, even when he talks, she looks literally disgusted with him. She seems disgusted with him. And I hate that for David because David doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve it. So she asks him if it's hard to date someone while he lives at home. David said, look. It's like an apartment, okay? He said, because I have my own entrance, my own kitchen, my own bathroom, my own laundry, and I have 2 bedrooms down there. So it's basically like a little apartment. So then she was like, well, I don't think that a 30-something-year-old, late 30-something-year-old man that lives at home is not attractive. David, she don't want you. She doesn't think you're attractive. She doesn't like you. She doesn't. So have some pride in yourself, have some self-respect, and leave. Don't let this lady tear you down and throw shade at you and judge you every single chance that she gets. One, you have clearer skin than she does. You can throw that in her face. You have better hair than she does. You can throw that in her face. She's missing the opportunity to be like, my man has 2 jobs. But I guess. So Michelle goes to meet his family. And I missed this. Okay, so Michelle goes to meet his family, and she said that her pet peeve is men wearing flip-flops. Girl. So she then asks, why does he live at home? Why did he tell me right away that he lived at home? She's asking his parents, why did he tell me that? And his mom is like, look, he doesn't live in the house. It's an apartment downstairs. He has his own space. He has his own life. She said, but I don't want him to get hurt because he's 100% in. Michelle makes it very, very clear that she has some reservations. So I don't know if that was a sister or a friend was on some. So are you not sure? Because if you're not sure, then like I don't want him to waste his time or have any type of setback because he's all in. And if you're not, it's going to pose a problem. So Michelle is like, no, I'm in. I'm just overwhelmed. It's information overload. And I'm like, no, it ain't no information overload. If that man said that he had a studio apartment in the West Loop, or he had a studio apartment over in Wicker Park, or something like that, you would not be overwhelmed. You would not be overloaded with information. And yes, before somebody says it in the comments, I get it. He lives at home. But again, as we have to remind these people every single season, you chose to let a stranger dictate your marriage. That's on you. That's on you, Michelle. If you didn't want a man that lived in a basement apartment, you should have went out and found your own light skinned nigga like you wanted. I have no sympathy for her. So David meets up with her people, and I thought that her people were rude. I did. I thought her people were rude. So he said that he doesn't know how she feels about him. He said, I know she's overwhelmed, but that's really all I can ascertain from it. So he wants to show her, look, I can be the man that you need me to be. I can be, I can be that for you. So they keep stressing that she's really independent. Remember, Michelle is the same heifer that during the intro episode 1 said, I don't need a man. So then why do you have one? Why are you on this show? Is it that you don't need a man or you can't get a man to put up with your ass? But here we go. So David tells them that he lives in his parents' basement. Maybe he should stop saying it that way. We need to see it. We need to see it. Is it truly a basement apartment? In college, I had some friends, one of my really good friends had a basement apartment, right? And when she would tell people she lived in a basement apartment, it was a lot of judgment and whatever until you got over there and saw how dope that apartment was. It was 4 bedrooms. It was huge. It's just in the basement. But she had her own entrance, own kitchen, own everything. You know what I mean? So as soon as he said that he lived in his parents' basement, one of them women rolled her eyes. No one's talking to you, ma'am. It don't involve you. It don't concern you. But he then goes on to say he pays his own bills, he pays his student loans, he helps his parents out. He can live on his own, but he chooses not to. I need David to honestly just say, I broke up from living with somebody, moved back to my parents' basement, and I've just been chilling ever since, waiting to find a wife so that I can build a home with her. Like, you need to zhuzh it up. You got to say more than I live here because I want to. And that's what I think is stressing everybody out about this. So they then tell him that he's too pushy and you need to give her time to process things. And I think that was her mother that said, you're talking too much and too fast and stuff is coming out. I said, y'all are some rude asses. Oh my God. No, why don't you tell her to suck it up? You wanted this. You wanted to marry a stranger, a light skinned nigga. That's what you wanted. So that's what you got. So they meet for drinks, David and Michelle. And he tells her, look, I'm going to slow down. Your people told me that you're overwhelmed. I'm going to slow down for you. We're just going to take this day by day. She then tells him or asks him, has he had any breakdowns or freakouts yet? And he's like, yeah, I kind of looked in the mirror today, saw the wedding ring, and I was like, whoa, like it's kind of trippy, but I'm excited about the future. She was like, yeah, I had a complete breakdown at the wedding. Like, I cried 10 times. I cried 10 times at the reception. I was with him. Damn. Do do you still want to go on the honeymoon? And I like that he asked her that because we can cut this now. Because if you've cried 10 times at the reception, my good sis, you don't want this man. You don't want him. So she was like, yes, I'll be at the airport. She wants that free trip. That's what she wants. So she then asked him, are you embarrassed you live at home or are you embarrassed to tell people? She better have the most laid apartment this side of the Mississippi. I promise. So he said that he's not necessarily, it's not that he's embarrassed, but he is a little hesitant because of the whole mama's boy aspect that gets lumped into that. So I can understand that. So he then said that, or she says for the 100th time, that it worries her that he lives at home. She's like, well, again, I don't have to live here. We just talked about this earlier. I don't have to live there, but it's not an issue for me to move out. My thing is, I'm barely home. I work 2 jobs. So what is the point of me paying $1,700 for a studio? Chicago is expensive when I can just stay there, give my parents money towards their mortgage. And, he was like, it's very bare minimum skill, like, down to the bones down there because I'm just not home a lot. I guess maybe, I don't know. I'm not, now, I don't want to date a man that lives at home either. Okay? I don't. I do not. However, however, if his thing, his reasoning is it's because it's a basement apartment and it's truly a basement apartment, and he's not saying that he wants to stay there. He's not inviting you to stay there. He's not even saying that he wants to live off of you. He is more than open and willing for y'all to get an apartment together. I'm not understanding the hang up on this. I'm not getting it. Let it go. So he's like, I don't want us to be hung up on this. And she's like, oh, but I am hung up on this. I guess. I guess. I don't like Michelle though. At all. I don't like nothing about her. Nothing about her. So we get to Emon and Echi. Is her name spelled wrong on the screen? If it is, I'm sorry. Is it supposed to be? I think it's supposed to be E, right? Is it E? I don't know. I'm gonna leave it as this. I'm gonna double check it. So we get to Emon and Echi. Okay. So they wake up the next morning and they're talking about how confused her clients are gonna be that she's married now because when did this happen? We didn't know. We didn't know you were dating anybody. So she's like, yeah, it's gonna be confusing for everyone. He says he does not drink coffee. She doesn't either. His coffee is going to the gym. So while he wakes up early, he goes to the gym to get energized and get rejuvenated. Um, he's not a talkative morning person. So he was like, you see, I didn't wake you up this morning. Me, myself, I'm a morning person and I wake up happy. Like, I'm the person, I'll wake up, I'll be on the phone at 6:30 in the morning. What's good? How you doing? How'd you sleep last night? Okay, what you got going on for today? I'm a morning person. I always have been. When we were in college and we would take girls trips, I was the friend that had to like promise to be quiet in the morning because I wake up excited. So, like on my work trips now, I wake up excited. Like, if I know what a hotel room you in, I'll go knock on the door. Yo, let's go get breakfast. I'm a morning person. So, they both were worried about the other not liking them because it can happen. It can happen. So, Ikechi met with her sister and her brother-in-law. He said that being married has been a desire for him for a long time. He admits that he is the person that sabotaged his engagement. He said he just wasn't ready. No, tell them that you cheated. Like you told her brother-in-law, tell them that you cheated. But I guess you don't want to talk about that. Or is that a cousin? I think that was a cousin at the reception. But I guess, semantics, I guess. So he said that he has learned to believe people when they say who they are. If you say you're crazy, I'm going to believe that you're crazy. That's the way you should do it. So they ask him, like, okay, so you auditioned for Houston, and then here you are again now. And they're like, so is this for real? Is this the real deal with you? How do we know that you're being 1,000% with this and that it's not like you just trying to be on TV to sell that book? Remember that book that's coming, $9.99 for the paperback, $12.99 for the hardcover, $5.99 for the Kindle, available, okay, on Amazon right now. Letters to my wife, go check it out. Because that's what he really want to say. So he would say, I don't know if you know about this, but this process is hard. Like, this is homework. Yeah, nigga, you had to audition. Whatever. So he said that he wants a love and marriage and that this process allows you to be truly vulnerable with someone. He said that if he saw any other way to get married, he wouldn't be doing this. There are other ways. Ikechi, there are. But okay. Emon meets with his family, and he said that they talked a little before going to sleep, but they were knocked out after the reception. She learned that he is an early riser, but that's okay because he's quiet. His people was like, look, he popular, okay? He got a social media presence. You know, he out there selling these books. $9.99 for the paperback, $12.99 for the hardcover, $5.99 for the Kindle version. Letters to My Wife, you know, available on Amazon right now. I'm gonna do it for you, Ikechi. Don't even worry about it. But they're like, so if he's walking down the street and women are coming up to him, how do you deal with that? I said, so let me get this straight. Hold on. Let me get this straight. Y'all are saying that Ikechi is so much of a public figure that he's walking down the streets of Chicago and women are throwing themselves at him and running up to him. Ikechi, sign my book. Where's the book? Let me get a copy of the book. He has that going on. But it's hard for him to find somebody because that's what he said. She said as long as he makes her feel secure, as long as he makes her feel comfortable, then she's okay with that. I said, okay, good answer. Good answer. So then his family was like, he's looking for perfection. He wants a unicorn. And that gives her pause because that would give anybody pause. Because whenever somebody says they're looking for perfection, that means that they are going to be overly critical on everything. They're never satisfied. He's not going to be satisfied with her because it's not going to be that level of perfection that he wants. That's crazy. So they meet up and he tells her, or she tells him actually, that her ears perked up when his people said that he wanted a unicorn because she's not a perfect person. So he was like, well, think about it as a Lego, you know? Legos fit together in different ways. You know where you can find Legos on Amazon, where my book is, Letters to My Wife. $9.99 for the paperback, $12.99 for the hard copy, $5.99 for the Kindle. Okay? Don't worry about being perfect. Get my book. Get my book. That's all I see when he's on screen. So he tells her that, you know what, he's not everybody's cup of tea, but he is somebody's crown royal on ice. I said, okay, cue Jill Scott. Play that Jill Scott interlude real quick. Crown Royal on Ice. Woo! What a song. We are headed to Mexico, y'all. All right, so we're headed to Mexico for the honeymoon. Now, they're all on the Sprinter bus, and all the couples are just sitting next to each other, and everybody is kind of, coupled up and gooped up, and they feeling each other's shoulders rubbing, knees rubbing together, and then you have Michelle and David, and Michelle is in her confessional asking, have these people met before? How is everybody so comfortable? Because they partners don't live at home. That's why. Everybody else here got their own apartment. They partners don't live at home, so they cool, Michelle. So the brothers are excited about getting to know their wives. Madison and Michelle, however, are freaking out. Okay, the black men are excited, the white women are not. So Madison and Michelle are freaking out because realization has set in. And Madison is like, we're gonna be spending all our time together and we're gonna live together. And I've never lived with a boy. And Madison is freaking out, which kind of makes Alan feel a little bad. But see, I don't think Madison's freak out is indicative of Alan. I think Madison's freak out is very internal. I didn't take it to be malicious on her part or anything of the sort. Michelle admits she's having a hard time, and Michelle gonna be the first one to scream out, "He lives at home." She gonna be the first one. She gonna call him a brokey at some point. Watch. So they're in Mexico and they are down getting like some cocktails, drinks, or whatever, probably waiting for the room to get ready. And they're all talking and they're kind of going around Um, oh, this was the scene. My bad, y'all. Why are my notes so weird? But as they're talking, we find out that it's kind of tense with some couples, but not with others. You know what I mean? Little tense here, little tense there. Nothing too crazy, but they kept honing in on the fact that Ikechi and Emon seemed like they were very much in sync, and I'm like, it's giving jealous. But then Alan was like, yeah, but give them 2 weeks and they could be at each other's throat. And I was with Ikechi. Why you wishing that on us? You worry about the fact that your half are freaking out right now, but they all took it in stride. They all laughed about it. Ha 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 ha. All right. So Michelle and David, we find out he slept on the couch. Oh my bad. I'm supposed to be black and white for them. We find out he slept on the couch. Okay. And it's because he couldn't sleep. He ordered 6 tacos last night and then just slept on the couch. She's saying that she is not surprised he slept on the couch, but she wants them to get on a better foot. Let's get on the good foot. But then she brings up him living at home again. And I was with him. Why are we talking about this again? So she asks if he's motivated to live on his own. But see, this is why this is bothering me, because if you want to ask more probing questions, fine. Talk finances. You know what I mean? Talk mental capacity or incapacity. Talk stuff like that. But for you to be like, are you motivated to, when he has told you time and time again he can move out, he's ready to move out, it's not that big of a deal, you gonna drive yourself crazy, Michelle, while driving the audience crazy as well. So then she said, who voluntarily lives at home at 36 years old. She can't get past it. She don't want to get past it. She's never going to get past it. David could be an amazing man. He could be all the man she needs. Shout out to Toni Braxton. He could be all of that. And she's not going to get past the fact that he lives in a basement apartment. Damn the fact that he's willing and ready to move out. Girl, you're going to have a long season. So then we get Ikechi and Emon, and they got the niggas on here talking about chitlins. I said, I swear for Lord, what is going on? Oh my God, I thought I was watching BET for a minute. Why are y'all on here talking about chitlins? So she like him, he don't. She like liver, he don't. I was with him. Why are you eating all these extra parts of the pig? Bacon me, please. Nothing about chitlins is appetizing. Okay, nothing. They look like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do it. So Ikechi said that one of his pet peeves is ignorance. And for a lot of people don't understand the true level of ignorance, it's just not knowing. Not knowing. One of my pet peeves is willful ignorance as well. It's one thing to not know, to be ignorant about a topic. It's another to be willfully ignorant about it and not want to educate yourself, not want to know how to do things, and to bask in that ignorance, which a lot of people do on a lot of different topics. So he then asked, has she ever been engaged? She said she was. It was years ago, to basically her college sweetheart. There was infidelity on his part, and they broke up. They got back together, and their futures just were no longer in alignment. He then talks about how he was engaged 12 years ago, and there was infidelity on his part. Now, Emma gets in her confessional and said that she has a tendency to ignore the red flags. I will point them out for you, sis. Okay? But she thinks that he is a different man now. He is, because he has a book, Letters to My Wife. $9.99 for the paperback, $12.99 for the hard copy, $5.99 for the Kindle, available on Amazon. Okay, so he is a different man. He's an author now. He's an author. Okay, but they get in the pool, they making little googly eyes, whatever the case. I don't think he likes her. Not for real, for real. But him and his dad bod, she likes him, so kudos to them. We then end the episode with Madison and Alan, and she apologizes for coming off weird earlier. I didn't mean to come off that way. She said that everything just kind of hit her at one time. And it was just a lot for her to take in. She was overwhelmed, overstimulated, but she does not want that to be a reflection on him or how she feels about him, because she does like him and she does want to get to know him. She does see, like, a little bit of a future with him. So he asked, how can I relax her? And he was like, because I don't want to be out and like reach for your hand and then that makes it weird. And she was like, don't do that. She said, because that's going to make me more uncomfy. Why do y'all say uncomfy? Is that really a thing? Oh my God. So she was like, look, don't walk on eggshells around me, because it's going to make me more aware of the fact that you're walking on eggshells. It's going to make everything more difficult. So if you want to hold my hand, hold my hand. If you want to touch the small of my back, touch the small of my back. So I have high hopes for them. I do think that it is a attraction issue with Madison, but I do hope that she's able to like push past this and they can work out. We get a brief little trailer on what's to come on the honeymoons, and yeah, we're in for a season. If you made it this far into this 46-minute video, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, leave your comments all down below, all of them, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.